Question is for the Premier. This government has a habit of making head-scratching pivots when trying to dodge a question. When asked about sex ed, they answer with math scores. When asked about cash for access, they answer with spaghetti. When asked about climate change, they answer with litter pickup. Today, I heard one of the government's partisan ads and learned that they believe trash collection is a better solution to the climate crisis than making polluters pay. Now, I'm all on board with picking up litter, but I'm unclear how it will significantly reduce GHG emissions. So, Mr. Speaker, can the Premier, based on the government's scientific calculations, tell us how much trash pickup will contribute to reducing Ontario's carbon emissions?
The questions to the Premier.
Minister of Environment.
The Environment, Conservation and Parks.
Mr. Speaker, I'm going to answer the member's question, but I know there's a chance in the supplementary, so I'm going to take this opportunity to thank the member. Because, Mr. Speaker, when the member from Guelph and the other people who mock things like trash talk down to Ontarians that are upset because there's litter and garbage, when they say that the only people who can talk about the environment are the ones that can fly to Switzerland for a conference in their private jets, when they say that only the environmental sophisticates are the only people who are allowed to talk about the environment, Mr. Speaker, they feed a cynicism that is not helpful, and our Made in Ontario plan addresses that. The reason it talks about litter, I'll say to the member from Guelph, is because the people of Ontario care about it. Yeah. And that's why we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the other issues that affect the environment.
Members take their seats. The member for Markham-Stouffville will come to order. The member for Mississauga East Cooksville come to order. The member for Hamilton East Stony Creek come to order. Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry come to order. Start the clock. Supplementary. Member for Guelph.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I participate in many litter pickups, and I invite the minister to join me in one of them. But given the answer that was given, I think the government should spend less time concerned about math scores and more time concerned about their grasp of basic science. Last year alone, the climate crisis cost Ontario $1.2 billion. It cost the average household $350. The Bank of England yesterday announced that there's $20 trillion of infrastructure at risk due to the global climate crisis. The Premier responds with stickers. So I would like to ask, Mr. Speaker, can the Premier tell the House today how much the government's partisan ad campaign will cost the taxpayers of Ontario?
Question has been referred to the Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks.
Speaker, through the member, and I do know he's involved in many litter pickups. You'll be pleased to know, and I know as part of an environment plan, we will have the first province-wide litter pickup day, and I'll invite you to join me in Ajax for that. But Mr. Speaker, I promised the member an answer. And let's talk about science. Let's talk about the National Inventory Report, something the member knows quite well. Came out this week, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've quoted it before. It's what says that Ontario has reduced emissions since 2005 by 22%, while the rest of Canada, which is worth a pause, the rest of Canada has increased emissions by 3%. Mr. Speaker, the new numbers are out, and the good news is Ontario continues on its path. Our Made in Ontario plan will get from the 22% to the 30%. But, Mr. Speaker, what was very interesting for the science is that the rest of Canada has gone not up 3%, but 6%. Mr. Speaker, why does the opposition, why does the member of the Green Party want to punish Ontario families when Ontarians are doing their part?
Thank you.